Leopard geckos are often described as a low maintenance reptile, and I think this causes more damage than it does help. And in this video, I'm going to be explaining why. I'm David, this is Lana, welcome to DJL Exotics. So one of the biggest problems with the statement of low maintenance is that it implies that you can actually just set and forget your leopard gecko. Throw in a bit of food, give them a clean every so often, and there isn't going to be a problem. That can be further from the truth. In actual fact, these guys still require a lot of care. Maybe not so much as you would do with a bearded dragon, but these guys are easier, they just still require a little bit of care. And one of the main aspects that causes problems is actually feeding. So a lot of people actually give these guys food, which is just literally thrown in there. Some mealworms, some crickets, maybe some roaches, maybe a few locusts. And yeah, okay, so they will eat and they will survive, but it won't give them the thrive. And in fact, it can actually cause some nutritional deficiencies if you're not adding in the right stuff. So insects need to be gut loaded before they are actually fed to your leopard gecko. You need to be feeding them kitchen scraps. In addition, you need to be adding supplements to their diet. So the Nutribol, which we really recommend here because it has not just the calcium and the D3 in it, but it also contains vitamin A. And a lack of vitamin A can cause serious eye problems with your leopard gecko. Other thing to think about is that leopard geckos can go through seasonal changes. It's not so simple as just giving them food all the time. So male leopard geckos can go through a little bit of a non-eating phase when it's breeding season, when they've only got one thing on their mind. During the winter, certain leopard geckos will go off their food and eat less because it's colder, and they can sense that change in the environment even though they're inside a heated vivarium. Even though these guys are fairly hygienic, they will go to the toilet in the same spot, making cleaning a lot easier, but that doesn't mean that you don't have maintenance. So about once a month, you're going to need to give them a thorough clean where you take everything out, give it a quick Dettol down, and then place it all. You've also got to check on your equipment. Heating equipment can break, thermostats can go wrong, you've got to make sure the probe's in the right place. These little things take a little bit of time. They're not major. You're not going to spend hours doing it. It will be 10 minutes every week checking the temperatures. But it is something that you really have to do on a regular basis. The other thing that you've got to do is make sure that you clean the water bowl and also the sides and the outside of the enclosure. Other thing to think about is socialisation. They do live on their own and they are not a social animal, but they do like their humans. I've known leopard geckos, you can be sitting in front of their enclosure and they will walk up and see what you're doing. They are curious about you as much as you like to be curious about them. They are a reptile that engages with their owners. It's why they're considered to be semi-domesticated. They also learn. So if you feed them at 5 o'clock every day, they will be at that food bowl at 5 o'clock every single day. You've got to make sure that you're keeping a schedule with their handling, but also keeping them handled. They enjoy the handling experience because it gives them some interaction. It gives them some enrichment. They're also a species that enjoys enrichment. You can give them enrichment. New decor, new sights, new smells. You can play music, you can do all kinds of things that encourage the leopard gecko to have a little bit more thought. And that handling, it still counts as maintenance. Health checks are also very, very important. A leopard gecko that is completely ignored can go from suddenly very healthy to very ill very, very quickly. And a leopard gecko, it actually only takes a few small changes, and that causes the problem. If you don't notice those changes, then that's when you're going to get a gecko that you can't kind of heal quicker. You can't make adjustments. So for instance, these guys can lose 10% of their weight before it becomes a worry, and that 10% is only about 4 to 8 grams. It's not a huge amount, but it is something that you need to really consider. So regular maintenance does also include weighing them. I really recommend weighing them at least once a month, if not every other week. So what do we mean when we say that leopard geckos are low maintenance? Well, let's compare them more to dogs. Dogs need regular walks. They cause absolute carnage in a house. You know, dogs can eat furniture, dig up carpets, cause all kinds of problems, eat pen lids, mess up with the toilet rolls. If you've ever seen the Andrex commercials, these sorts of things, they do cause that kind of damage. Leopard geckos don't. They are much easier. You don't need to walk them. They do sit in their enclosure. You don't need to think about where they're going to sleep at night in addition to where they're sleeping during the day or where you're going to go. If you go out, you don't need to put them into a cage because they're already in one. You don't have to worry about them barking. These guys will not bark and annoy the neighbours. They're going to be quite good. And I think that's really, really important, is that these guys are low maintenance in some respects, but really calling them low maintenance is doing them a big disservice. These guys have very specific needs, and if you don't give them to it, that's when things can go wrong very, very quickly. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you want to take your leopard gecko's care to the next level, I really recommend that you watch this video here. Apart from that, please remember to like, share, and comment on the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much, and bye for now.